Thanks to the progress of technology in recent decades, much has been learned about the influence of magnetic fields, especially of variable fields, on biological processes occurring in a living organism. The beneficial influence of these fields on some oxygen and anaerobic respiration processes has been proved and explained. It was found that, through increasing the secretion of endogenous opiates, magnetic fields help to fight pain. Numerous studies conducted in laboratories and clinics throughout the world have laid scientific foundations for the application of magnetic fields in medicine. Viofor is a completely new apparatus developed on the basis of Polish know-how. Viofor is an apparatus that uses a weak, slow-changing magnetic field for magnetostimulation. Its aim is enhancing the body's physiological functions. The stimulation of natural life processes with a component of the electromagnetic field is beneficial for maintaining homeostasis, even in an environment constantly being transformed by the development of civilization. As a preventive measure, we all need to lessen the negative impact of pollution, unhealthy lifestyles and incorrect nutrition, which lie at the root of chronic civilizational diseases. Applied correctly, magnetostimulation is a form of assisting the treatment of a number of ailments, including injuries and chronic diseases. Body fluids, that is blood, lymph and intercellular fluid, are ionic conductors of the electric current. A new JPS system of absorption of the variable magnetic field applied in Viofor uses both the magnetomechanical and electrodynamic effects with ionic cyclotron resonance. This result was achieved through the selection and combination of two different magnetic signals. In this way, more effective ionic transport through cell membranes and intercellular membranes was achieved compared to existing methods of magnetostimulation. Video manual. Applications. Viofor JPS is designed for magnetostimulation. This form of physiotherapy consists in subjecting the whole body or parts of the body to a variable magnetic field. Viofor JPS can be used for prevention at home, in doctor's surgeries and by physiotherapeutists, in the treatment of the sick at home, in line with the doctor's recommendations, in sports medicine, in veterinary practice. Components of the Viofor system. Viofor JPS control unit, large applicator mat, small applicator pillow, point applicator, remote control handset. The look of the handset's front panel may vary, but the functions remain the same. Control unit. Controls, display and indicators are situated on the front panel. On the rear panel are the main switch and applicator sockets. Front panel. On-off switch to start or stop an application. Yellow indicator flashes when the apparatus is on. Magnetic field intensity booster button. Magnetic field intensity lowering button. 7 green, 3 yellow and 3 orange indicators show magnetic field intensity. Sound button switches beeper indication on and off. Green indicator lights up whenever the beeper is on. On button switches the apparatus on from standby mode, switches indicators on. Green indicator lights up when the apparatus in standby mode is switched on, all indicators are off. 4-digit display shows application time before the start button is pressed. It counts down application time, also shows program settings. Yellow indicators show the polarization of field impulses. Applicator Select button, A. Indicator is on whenever the large applicator mat is selected. Green light goes on if the applicator circuit is closed, red if the applicator circuit is interrupted, for example when the applicator is plugged into the wrong socket. Indicator is on when the small applicator pillow is selected, light color as in the previous point. Indicator is on when the point applicator is selected, light color as before. M Mode Magnetic Field Application Mode button. Green indicators signal the selected application mode M1, M2 or M3. Program P button acts as program selector. Orange indicators mark the selection of one of the programs, P1, P2 or P3. Rear panel. Power switch. Voltage switch preset to 220 to 230 volt. Fuse socket equipped with an inset. Mains cord. Point applicator socket. Small applicator pillow socket. Large applicator mat socket. Service socket not in use. Handle. List of technical specifications. Name of manufacturer. Remote control. Viofor JPS remote control handset for setting functions available on the unit's front panel and additional functions. Start-stop button switches applications on and off. On button activates the apparatus from standby mode, switches indicators back on. A1, A2, A3 applicator selector buttons. M1, M2, M3 application mode selector buttons. P1, P2, P3 program selector buttons. 0.5 to 12 magnetic field intensity buttons. B, C, D, E active list application setting selector buttons. Cell button selects successive lists of application settings LI1, LI2, DEF1, DEF2. OK button confirms list selection. Press Cell button first, or shows active list on the front panel display without pressing Cell. Sound button switches beeper on and off to indicate whether the unit is in operation. Please read the instruction manual, paying close attention to safety installation and operation conditions and medical counterindications. How to use. Press the power switch on the rear panel. After a short test period, the following settings are selected. Applicator A1 matte. Program P1. Mode M1. Intensity 1. Time 8 minutes. Select the applicator by means of the A button on the front panel or the A1, A2, A3 buttons handset. The green indicator corresponding to the applicator lights up. If a red light appears, either the flow of electricity is interrupted or there is too much resistance in the applicator circuit, for example, the plug is not pushed in deep enough. By pressing the M button, select the application mode M1, M2, M3. The green indicator light corresponds to the selected mode. By pressing the P button, select Program P1, P2, P3. The orange indicator light shows the currently selected program. Using the 3 or 4 buttons on the front panel, or by selecting from 0.5 to 12 on the handset, increase or decrease magnetic field intensity to a required level. The intensity of the field is shown on the indicator bar. Attention! Pressing the intensity button on the front panel increases or decreases field intensity by a degree. This is accompanied by a beep. Changes of M and P are automatically accompanied by changes of application time shown on the display 8, 10, 12 minutes. Once all application settings have been programmed, press Start-Stop, which is accompanied by a longer beeping sound. The clock starts counting down the application time. During the application, the yellow indicator light flashes next to the Start-Stop button. The application is automatically switched off once its time has run out, which is signaled by 3 beeps. Once the Start-Stop button has been pressed, all buttons except Start-Stop and Sound become inactive until the end of the application or until it is interrupted. Attention! The Start-Stop button is inactive whenever an error in the circuit of an applicator occurs. A red indicator light next to the applicator appears. If a break in the circuit occurs during the application, the apparatus switches off. The sign is displayed, followed by the initial time of the application. Use the Sound button to switch the beeper on and off. After 2 minutes, the unit goes into the standby mode. All the indicator lights go off except for a green indicator which then appears. Switch on the unit again pressing the On button. How to use the applicators. Mat with coils. Large applicator. This applicator contains 3 pairs of coils situated along the mat. They generate a magnetic field with varying intensity. The pair of coils in the foot area produces the most powerful field. In the shoulder area, the field is the weakest. For the best therapeutic result, choose a place free from other electromagnetic fields. The mat's folding line is marked with arrows. How to use the mat. Place the mat on a hard, flat surface. Select Program and Intensity. Put aside magnetic cards and take off an electronic watch. Lie down on the mat. your head should rest in the mat area where the cable goes in. Relax your muscles. Press the Start-Stop button. Pillow with coils, small applicator. This applicator contains one pair of coils. It can be held against any part of the body. To use the pillow, select Small Applicator using the A button. The green lamp above the image of the applicator should go on. Place the pillow flat on a surface or under any part of the body. Select Mode, Program and Intensity. Press Start-Stop. Point Applicator. An arrow marks the direction of the magnetic field generated by the applicator. Set the A applicator switch to A3. A green light above the image of the point applicator should go on. Holding the applicator next to the wire, touch the relevant point of the body with the tip of the applicator. Attention! It is recommended to remain in the same position for 1 or 2 minutes after the application time ends, which is accompanied by 3 beeps. How to use. Basic facts. The therapy should be conducted only under a doctor's supervision, in particular if you're on any medication. The use of Viofor assists basic treatment. Consult your doctor before you attempt any changes in present treatment. Magnetic fields generated by Viofor, indeed, like most medicines and physiotherapeutic methods, do not bring instant results. The time you need to wait to notice them differs, depending on the time you have been ill or on other diseases you may have. The longer they last, and the bigger their number, the longer the time required for magnetic stimulation. Some patients respond to the therapy quicker than others. Magnetic stimulation can safely be applied continuously, 1 to 3 times a day, with a possible break, depending on your needs and condition. When you start using Viofor, increase the intake of fluids, preferably still mineral water. Follow the diet recommended by a doctor, who may also suggest possible food supplements. Strictly follow any additional advice given by a doctor. How to select application settings. Select Mode M, Program P and Intensity. Each of the 9 applications can be combined with a freely selected field intensity. Use relevant buttons on the front panel or remote control handset buttons. Intensity levels ranging from 0.5 to 12 correspond to proportional values of magnetic field induction emitted by the applicators. Preset parameters on lists DEF1 and DEF2. B. Morning preventive use. C. Afternoon preventive use. D. Pillow use in minor injuries not requiring medical consultation. E. Point applicator use in minor injuries not requiring medical consultation. It is advisable to use different mode and program combinations in turn with an individually selected field intensity. Programming. Programming and subsequent reprogramming concerns lists LI1 and LI2. Fixed lists DF1 and DF2 are preset by the manufacturer. Application settings programmed on each list can be triggered using B, C, D and E buttons on the remote handset. To program application settings, follow these steps. Define application settings. Press Cell until the display shows the name of the list on which selected settings are to be memorized, LI1 or LI2. Press on the front panel. Save appears on the display. Press either B, C, D or E to memorize settings. You should hear a longer beep confirming the operation. Should an error occur during the programming, repeat the procedure. By repeating points 1 to 4, you may program 8 sets of values, 2 from list LI1 and LI2, for each button B, C, D, E. The settings will be stored in the unit's memory until new settings are introduced. To call up programmed application settings. Press on to switch the unit on. Press Cell on the handset until the name of the list you require appears on the display. Press OK on the handset to confirm. Select B, C, D or E on the handset for the required settings. Press Start/Stop to start the application. Maintenance and repairs. Viofor JPS requires no maintenance. It is recommended, however, that the apparatus should be checked every 2 years. After 10 years, such a checkup is necessary. For repairs, contact only the authorized Med & Life service.